Hi, today we're going to make an Anzac wreath, and I know that you guys can all make one. It's really not that hard. So you'll first need a base that you can either cut out of cardboard, and you can see you can use a bread and butter plate just to trace around that, and then cut out a circle in the middle by tracing around something else a bit smaller, probably about the same size as the actual bottom of that plate. And you can use anything that's circular or like that just to make some sort of base. So then you will need either wool or wire or string. In this case I do have some wire. You will need some secateurs or scissors even. And you need to go right out there and get a whole shopping bag full of foliage from out in your yard or down by the road, whatever. And I would pick things that are quite different. So we've got some rosemary, some grevillea, another shrub there, simply because that it gives it if you've got more texture, if you've got different shades of green and silver foliage and stuff, it just looks so much better. Then you pick a few focal things, like if you can find something that's in flower, a shrub. This is all natives, by the way. And there's some grevillea. There's some of these which I really like, because they've got those red tips on their new leaves. You can pick some gum nuts, because they make a really good focal point. If you wanted a centerpiece, you could do that by using that. And you're going to actually gather these together in a bundle, which I'm going to show you how to do right now. Okay, so let's make one of these bundles up. So first I'll grab some of the rosemary and some of this really nice shrub here with the green. Then I'm going to add my lone pine. I'm going to actually do a couple of pieces of that, and you just have to fiddle with it just till you get it how you like it. Then I'm going to add some of my grevillea leaf. I'm going to put 2 leaves in there, and you just keep moving it around till you're quite happy with it. Then I'm going to add a piece of the silver gum leaf, and then I'm also going to add the purple focal point there, and another piece there, and again just fiddle around with it a bit. Then I'm going to add this because I really like it, and I might even poke it in behind a little bit because it's a bit taller, this piece. Poke it in there, so it's really, I don't know if you can see it there, but it's really quite obvious. And then I'm going to use my little grevillea flower as the front piece because it's shorter and it's got a bit of colour. Then I'll get a piece of wire, but you can use string, but wire is just easy, and it's just garden wire you can get from Bunnings. And then I'm just going to put that round there. Now I don't always secure my bundles. I quite often just put one on at a time on my wreath base, and then twist the wire round as I'm threading it through the actual base, through the circle, and get it to hold there while I prepare the next bundle. But that is how you prepare a bundle. Now I'm going to show you that you do quite a few of those. I would do it one at a time, but today I've actually made a whole heap ready to do my wreath. Now I'm going to show you how to secure them to your wreath frame. Okay, we're back. Now this is the wreath frame that I've chosen to use, and what I've done is I've secured my wire onto the side of it there. Well, actually it goes right around it. And I'm going to get my first bundle, and I'm sitting it right on top of where I've actually put it on there. And you put it on an angle. You don't put it like that sticking out. You just put it on an angle following around the shape of your circle. Then you get your wire and you take it right through the middle of your wreath frame and around. I usually go around twice, and then I just let it sit while I fiddle with it a bit. Then I get my next bundle, which case is this one. And what you do with each bundle is you lay it on top of the last one. You don't want to cover up everything, but you want to lay it on top of it so that you really have a nice, that it fills it out. And then you bring back your wire again, and you bring it round again. And like I said before, go around about twice. and that should hold it steady until you are ready for the next bundle. Now I'll show you a bit further on the next steps. Okay, so once you start putting all your bundles around and you get down to the last area, it gets a bit tricky, so you want that filled out. I actually ran out of grevilleas, so my last bundle I just put 2 of these little extra things in, but because it's going to be up the top here, what you do is you lift your very first bundle and you tuck it in underneath. That's where it's going to sit. So you tuck it in, and then you get your wire, which I had come undone, and you wrap your wire around again until that's all done. And I've still got a bit of a gap there, so I could make another bundle and try and put it in here, or I could make that the top of my wreath, and if I do that then I would want something to stand out, so I might use some of these and I would either poke it in some fashion, which you can do. You can just poke these things in different places, and if I was going to do that, or if I wanted to do the focal point in more than one place, I might also end up with, say, put it in thirds, so you imagine 1 at the top and 2 on either side, like that. Anyhow, that's pretty much how you do it, and then what you also can do is you can turn your wreath around and decide, like, you can fiddle with it and everything, but you can trim off any bits that you think are sticking out way too far, and that's what you can use, either your secateurs to do this, or a pair of scissors, doesn't really matter. But just a little at a time, because you can't put it back on, although you could poke some leaves and foliage in there. And even from the centre, if you think it's a bit too messy in the centre, you can snip that off in there as well. So I'll just finish this off and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, so this is the end result. As you can see, what I've done is I've tucked in little bits. You get some foliage, and by this time you don't have to now wire it in. I wired in the last one. I made an extra one to make sure I filled it out. The more bundles you use, the thicker your wreath will be. It'll be much more full, and I ended up putting these little gum nuts at 3 different places around the wreath, as you can see there. And then I just basically went down. I might have cut away a couple of little bits that were sticking out, but you don't have to. You can leave it and let it have that really natural look. But that's basically how you make a wreath for Anzac Day, and anyone can do it, and you can put it on your gate ready to honour our Anzacs and all the other soldiers and nurses, etc., that have gone in there to fight for our freedoms, and so we do appreciate that, don't we? So get in there, guys, and have a go at making your own Anzac wreath.